Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a sensational one out there. Tonight, right now, we're going to listen to the band Planet P Project. We're going to listen to this track off of their album Pink World, released 1984, their second studio album. And that's going to be the track What I See. Do you see what I see? What I see is Planet P. That deserves a little applause. We're listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Eric. So, Eric, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. I really appreciate that. I see that the band had also been suggested by someone elser. Screw YouTube. Genius. I'm not saying that's his name. Genius SATQW and Rob Monger. So thank you guys so much for the recommendation. I've never heard of the band, but I do see here that Eric, you had said that Tony Carey, who's the player, keyboard player on Rainbow Rising, is also going to be featured in here. Otherwise, I gotta say, I've never heard of the band. I've never seen this album cover, like even in passing. Like sometimes I'll see at least an album cover in passing, but no, I've never heard of the band or anything. So let's see what they're up to with this track, What I See. Stranger Things.
I see a planet that's glowing red. I see the millions burning in their beds. I see the beauty that might have been torn from the future by hungry men. The same dreams every night. I wake up shaking in the morning light. I don't know what could be expected of me. I only know that I believe what I see. And you, do you see what I see? Yeah, you.
Nice bass walk down.
I see, what I see.
So that synth guitar is kind of in between. It's just got a strong backbone for the rhythm.
This isn't quite the way I thought it would be. It seems they want to take a symbol of me. I have the power that can keep us alive. It's a sugar-coated pill, and it's bitter
That kind of
inside.
sneer to his vocals
I
too.
have the same dreams every night. I wake up shaking in the morning light. I don't know what could be expected of me. I only know that I believe what I see. Got you. Do you see what I see?
That little melodic line reminds me of Gary Newman for some
Yeah,
reason.
you. Do you see what I see? What I see. What I see.
Fading vocals. Nails a certain sound here, for sure.
Do you see what I see?
So this is a full rock opera, basically. I'm just curious. I mean, we have no context because we haven't listened to Live Forever, but I'm just curious.
I guess I'm gonna live forever. Find myself a cave and hide me away.
And it has that gated drum sound. Okay. All right. This was a cool... all right, so I'm looking at this right now. I'm looking at the Wikipedia, and this is a rock opera, right? As we mentioned. And you can definitely... I mean, I'm scrolling. There's a concept here. There's a lot of members and musicians and personnel playing. But can I tell you something that always impresses me? This right here. Besides the few musicians who are guesting on certain tracks with certain instruments, everything performed, as you heard, is all courtesy of Tony Carey. And I think that that is just so impressive in, of course, many different respects. You know, obviously from the technical and the musician part of it, where he's just handling everything. So the guitar solo is the only thing that is not handled by him in this track, which is performed by Reinhard Besser. Everything else is him. So obviously from the pure chameleon of a musician, they have to be to play everything. So he's playing, obviously, the vocals, but the guitar, the bass, the keyboards, the drums, and anything else that's in there. He's handling all that. Besides that, I think that it's just so independently creative and independently brave for any musician to put on an album which is really just them handling everything. And I don't mean like, you know, a guitarist playing acoustic guitar and singing, and that's the whole album. That's impressive too. But when they're handling all duties, I just think that that's worth noting and worth grand commendation and just like some sort of praise in some respect. Whether you like the end product or not, just for them to do that, I think is really worth noting. Tony Carey, fantastic track though. This is not something to throw by the wayside. This is something to throw onto the road. I really enjoy everything about it, but I like how this almost felt like a middle-paced hard rock track with some sleek and cool-sounding synths wrapped up around it, and with a cool kind of sneer of a vocal performance that added a lot of character into the music, which, it being a rock opera, you need character. You need it in here. You need personality. And I think that he brings it in here. I like how it's catchy as well in its own musical way. From the da, ba, 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 like you can almost sing that line there when the guitar comes in, followed by the synth lines. They're just very melodic. Those leads sound really satisfying, and it works really well in this track. The whole time I'm thinking, or I'm listening to this, it reminded me of something else, and I can't quite figure out what it is. Part of me is feeling like some of this sounded a little bit like Pink Floyd, like Wall era. But I was also thinking of The Who, and something else was in the back of my mind, but I couldn't quite tell you. One of those synth lines in here, however, sounded very Newman-esque. I will say that. That I did catch. That was something I did notice in here. But I thought that this was a cool, like, foot stomper of a track. This is a cool track with a little bit of power behind it, a little bit of backbone, but not so much that it's like, you know, writing some heavy kind of track. No, it's heavy melodic, and I think that was really cool. And like, this is a ride. That's a nice melodic line. You get the bigger vocals from, I was going to say everyone else involved, but it's just Tony. So I like how he overdubs himself there to give him more presence. That, you hear that little line? Ba, 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 ba. You could hear Stranger Things using something like that. But I like how there's a nice density where everything you can hear is nicely layered, from those keys back there, that synth line, to on top of that the vocals coming in with that quick fade in, or the guitar that begins to solo there. every single instrument and every single part of this track has a proper place, and you can hear that distinct place that they sit in and that they reside in. And each one brings something really valuable to the track as a whole. This is a cool track to listen to. I'm curious about the concept of this and how, I mean, I guess that's probably going to help us with the lyrics, but we'll try it. I see a planet that's glowing red. I see the millions burning in their beds. I see the beauty that might have been torn from the future by hungry men. Is this Earth and the end of? I have the same dream every night. I wake up shaking in the morning light. I don't know what could be expected of me. I only know that I believe what I see. And you, do you see what I see? Do you see what I see? That's the second time I said that. This isn't quite the way I thought it would be. It seems they want to make a symbol of me. I have the power that can keep us alive. It's a sugar-coated pill, and it's bitter inside. I have the same dream every night. I wake up shaking. Do you see what I see? While I could make guesses, let's look at some of the background on this, and maybe that'll help us a little bit. Let's see. The album tells the story of a dystopian society sheltered from nuclear annihilation by the Zone, a protected area created through the psychic powers of a 7-year-old boy named Artemis. There he is. Hope he's not foul. The boy is manipulated by government officials into acting as a figurehead to gain public support for their rule. He is okay. They're just using him. Though Artemis himself has nearly absolute power over everybody in the Zone. Artemis eventually leaves the area of safety he created, causing it to vanish as he departs. Very interesting. Okay. So he's got the whole world in his hands. So so this track, what I see, I mean, I feel like this is probably going to be like, this is from Artem's point of view. And what's going to happen if he leaves? Basically, that world disappears. And with what they're saying, it seems they want to make a symbol of me. Yeah, they're just using him, basically. That's how I see it. Is it in here somewhere? Let's see. I mean, this gets in even deeper. I was trying to find if there's a specific sentence here that's sheds light on the actual song we just listened to, but I think I'm pretty close. Let me click annotations. America and Russia were enemies at the time of this album, and two opposite sides of the Cold War. Russians were hungry for victory. Artie's nightmares of destruction return every time he goes to sleep. Our 7-year-old protagonist is afraid of what the government, who we'll find out later about his powers, will do to him. Yeah, they're coming for you. They always are. His premonitions may be linked to his powers. Everyone else remains powerless and thusly blind to what he sees. The background characters are missing eyes, representing their ignorance of the world's fate. That absolutely makes sense. And it's not what he thought it would be. What is this, menthol? Artem's powers are compared to lozenges, which are throat-healing pills coated in candy that tastes bitter underneath. Artie's powers can be interpreted as good for mankind when used the right way, but if used by the wrong hands, can lead to their destruction. I mean, the world disappeared, so it didn't seem like it worked really well. It seemed like that was a bad ending. Let me know what you guys thought of course, in the comments down below. Eric, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you for the suggestion and the support as well. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you as always for being here. Come on back tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye, guys.